Hey everybody, what's good? It's Pika calling in from Singapore. It is Wednesday night, and I gotta tell you, today was a little funky kind of day. It was different, man, because I was not feeling good. I got lucky yesterday. They had offered me to give me the day off anyway, because my schedule is subject to change at any given moment anyway. So I took yesterday off, but this morning, man, I wasn't feeling it. I don't know what happened. Excuse me. I think I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning for no good reason, and then um, what happened? I ended up talking to my brother for a little bit because he had some questions. They're 3 hours ahead of us with daylight savings out in Sydney right now. So I talked to him for a second, and then like I was kind of up already, and I was thinking, you know what? I don't think I can make it into work today because I didn't feel, that giddy feeling like you're dizzy all the time or whatever. Like you're not feeling it. You know if you sneeze real good, you probably like just fall asleep right after. But yeah, I wasn't feeling very well, so I went ahead and called out from work. Now, just so you understand, I am still within my 3 month probation at work. I'm still kind of, finding my way around, learning the ropes and everything, trying to prove myself as, a beneficial member of the team. So obviously I felt really bad about the fact that I was going to call out, but I went ahead, I got up, like I said, I woke up at 4, by about 4:30, whatever. I was pretty much awake. I wasn't about to go back to sleep anyway. So I figured, you know what? Maybe I get some work done because I was also waiting to see if there was a gentleman we were supposed to meet this morning for a meeting, and I actually lucked up, and I hate to say that because he's also sick. I lucked up and he called out of the meeting, so I didn't have to show up. And outside of that, there's really nothing that I can't do from home. So what I asked my boss was, hey, is it okay? I'm just gonna stay home today. Actually, Gaia woke up and she was saying her body was hurting again. I was a little nervous, so I kept her home, and we both like chilled out or whatever. Got lots of rest, lots of fluids. But yeah, so I asked my boss if it's okay if I just stay home, and I'll submit whatever stuff I have that I'm working on, while I'm online at home. And she agreed, and I was very, very grateful that she was able to do that for me. But in the meantime, I just want to talk to you about calling in sick. I know a lot of y'all, like, yeah, we don't like going to work. I mean, give it a choice, everybody else would want to do something else, right? But it's obviously an obligation, a responsibility, something we need to be able to get by from day to day, from week to week, or whatever. So with that in mind, and knowing the fact that, I'm still under probation, I am not in a position to kind of bargain with this. I can't like fuck around and like, yeah, I'm sick and not do any work either. The reason I chose to stay home mostly is because I work in a tuition center, right? So we have all these kids coming in and out. If I'm gonna be sneezing and blowing my nose like 1,000 times a day, I need to make sure that I'm not in a place where I can get anyone else sick. That's not fair. Okay, it's not responsible of me, and I wish more people would actually go home when they're sick rather than send their kids or come into work themselves and like just get everyone around them sick. I know you got to work. I know you need the money, and I know it's the few that spoil it for the masses because some people are like, yeah, MC, medical leave, medical condition, whatever, and they go get a doctor's note just for the hell of it, and they're not actually sick. They just don't want to come into work. So I know what goes into being an employee not really wanting to come to work, or being an employer and having people call out and not be responsible for their job, for their shift, for whatever's going on in the work. I've done that, and trust me, with the Grand Hyatt and stuff, I've seen it happen more times than once, and I've been the one to volunteer and stay back and cover shifts and do shit. So I mean, I definitely understand. So I don't ever want anyone to feel like that's the kind of person I am. That's the kind of employee I am. So yeah, from about 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning until, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I worked. I worked pretty diligently on everything that I possibly could. Something I've had to learn is how to write so that people will read here in Singapore. And that's been a little bit difficult for me because the way I write is a little more high flown, it's a little more poetic, it's a little more prose like, I guess. And it's not for everyone, I don't think. I try to make it so that it is, but it's, excuse me, it's not always the easiest read. So I worked on that for a little bit, and then we were doing, I had like a bunch of testimonials that I needed to convert into soft copy because they're all like handwritten by the kids, and if we ever want to use them in marketing materials, I need to go ahead and like, type them out and get together like a format for future references as well. So I was working on all of that, and I felt pretty good about it. So I could have very easily said, yeah, I'm sick, I'm just going to sleep the whole day away. But I'm not built like that. And that's the kind of thing I want to talk to you about. There is such a thing as dignity. There is such a thing as, your reputation preceding you. it is very easy not to do. But on the same token, it is very easy to do. It just depends on the decision. It depends on your decision to want to do something about it rather than let it slide, forget that it's there, push it off for another day or whatever. And what we don't realize is, or maybe we do realize, and that's why we avoid it even more, is once we push something off until the next day, it adds to a pile of other things that's been pushed off to the next day. So eventually you're looking at a mountain of things that you haven't done, and you feel even less inclined to do any of them. Does that make sense? So for me, starting out, or even if I was like a veteran employee, I'm not the kind of person to take advantage, you guys, just in general. I know even in relationships, I don't want to take advantage of anything. I want to love you or take care of you like you may disappear one day, because it matters to me how you remember me. It really does. I don't want to pick a fight if I can help it. I don't want to come to blows if I can help it. I don't want to put my foot down on anything if I can help it, because there is some kind of strength and dignity in being able to understand where the other side is coming from and try really hard to take into consideration their feelings, their thoughts, their responsibilities when you decide to, do whatever it is that you're trying to get accomplished. But on the same token, that leaves you open to being vulnerable, to being a doormat, to having people take advantage of you. Now, it's real easy to turn into like one of those tit for tat kind of deals where you're like, well, she did it to me, so I'm going to do it to her, It's real easy to do that. But what's the harm in actually being better than the other person? I mean, it doesn't take much to stoop. It really doesn't. And that's all the other person wants you to do, is actually stoop and be as stupid and petty as they are. But you don't prove anything that way. You don't make the situation any better. It's an eye for an eye makes both men blind, right? Because they both lose an eye. I don't know. People these days, I don't think they understand what it takes to be a responsible person. I don't think they understand what it means to actually have a reputation, to actually have something to protect. And I know there are people that are, there are some people that are just hell-bent on misunderstanding you no matter what you do. And for those, I would say, you know what, you know who you are, you know what you've done, you know what you've accomplished, don't even mind those people. But people like my boss, for example, right? I don't want her to ever think that, oh, I take the easy way out and I'm not going to get any work done. I do my work. I mean, I do get sidetracked as well. I'm not going to say I don't. I'm sure there are plenty of times where she's walking to the office and I'm like looking at YouTube because I just needed a break, or I have Facebook open and it's on my page instead of, Scholars Inc. page or whatever. It's not that I'm goofing off. It's not that I'm like, being stupid and wasting company time. It's like sometimes I do need a break. Sometimes I'm falling asleep typing and typing and typing. I do a lot of transcription work. I've mentioned that before. And that's actually quite boring. And I feel like if I don't switch gears every now and again, I'm going to end up falling asleep on my damn computer because it's monotonous. It doesn't require any kind of creativity, and it doesn't require pictures. Nothing artistic. It's just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Write out exactly what they're saying. I'm sorry, guys. As you can tell, 4 o'clock is kind of catching up with me right now. So yeah, when I call out sick, you best believe it's something where I really cannot make it into work. And even if I can't make it into work, I'm going to make it to my damn dining room table where I can sit down and work. I'm going to make sure that I can get at least that much done because it matters to me what you think of me. Not to the point where I'm going to change my entire life for you, obviously, but it matters to me who you see me as, the kind of person I am. I take pride in who I am. I want to lead by example. I want people to look at me and be like, you know what? I can't mess around with her. I can't give her a bunch of bullshit. I can't flake on her because she's never flaked on me. And she has plenty of reason to, but she's never flaked on me. And that's the kind of person I want you to think of me as. It matters. It really matters. It's not that I'm out here to prove to you that I'm a great person, and I'm not. I feel like I'm a pretty decent person. I'm not anything spectacular by any means, but I feel like I'm a pretty decent person. And if you just give me a chance and get to know me, I think you would see that for yourself. But in the meantime, I want the rest of the world to know that there are easy ways out of everything. There are people out there that I've known since college, right? And they are hustling really hard, working 2 and 3 jobs. And should they be working that hard? I don't think so. I think they could have decided something at some point and worked a little smarter maybe. And that way they don't have to punch one clock, punch out, punch back into another job, punch out, punch back into another job, and then finally go home. Like, you don't need to be running yourself ragged like that. And I think it really does matter, like, what kind of reputation you have and how hard you're willing to work and what kind of situations you're willing to put up with. Obviously, some that really don't help you and they drain you, you need to cut off and keep going, but it really does lie in all your daily decisions. Really, really does, really. Like every week I get to about Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm suddenly shocked. Oh my God, tomorrow's Thursday. I need to do my Periscope, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I have the option of calling out. I could definitely cancel or reschedule my Periscope. It is in my hands to do that, but I don't want to. I don't want to. It took me a long time to, muster up the courage to actually get on that damn thing, and I'm not about to stop now. And maybe I don't make sense, and maybe I'm not so clear. Maybe I'm sneezing through the whole thing tomorrow. I mean, I had one episode where I could not speak. My voice sounded so low and husky that I had like a cup of, I don't know if you know what it is. Samahan is actually like a tea type drink that you put in with ginger tea as well, and it burns your throat. It's almost like a hot toddy without the alcohol. But I sipped on that the whole episode because I would rather you think I'm completely stupid or don't make sense than not show up. I would rather just show up. I would rather just show up because I don't want to start giving myself excuses to not show up. Y'all know how it is with me and working out, right? So I started working out a couple days ago for this whole October health-minded goal-setting challenge or whatever. And I swear, I keep thinking, you know what? Yeah, it's hard. My body hurts. I haven't worked out this hard in a really long time. And I'm worried because there is a rest day coming up after the 4th day. And I'm scared because I don't want the excuse to take a rest day because I know what happens. I know me. It may not happen the first time. I may go back on the 6th day or whatever and work out again. But the next time that rest day comes up, I'm going to give myself an excuse. I can feel it. And I need to just fight through. So I would rather show up and do the best I can under whatever circumstances than cancel. I don't want to cancel. I don't want to reschedule if I can absolutely help it. It really is it's something for me to kind of show you that I am a person of my word. I don't want you to go through, my blog posts, my podcasts, my Periscopes, get to know me, and then find out that I'm full of shit because I'm NATO. I'm no action talk only. I don't want to be that person. I want you to judge me by what I do. It's a lot of Gary Vee in there. Judge me by what I do. I say a lot. I change my mind a lot. Things change. The information is ever changing, and you adjust. You course correct as you go along. So what I might decide yesterday may not be right for me today, depending on what information has presented itself. So I would rather you judge me by what I do. If I show up every day, trust me, man, I have plenty of excuses to not even get out of bed in the morning. Don't ask me for details. It's not worth it. But I have plenty of excuses not to get up. But I do. I push myself every day. I show up every day. My makeup may not be on point. I may not be on fleek, or I may not be slaying it that day. But fuck it, I'm gonna freaking show up. Okay, pale face, bare face, whatever. I'm gonna show up because my work ethic will not change. I don't care what I'm wearing. I don't care what I look like. My work ethic will not change. I'm here to finish what I started, for once. There are a lot of things that I've started. A lot of things that I've finished too, but some things, some things more than others, obviously. So think about it the next time you call out. Do you really need that sick day, or you like senior skip day, you just don't want to go? It matters, you guys. Everything you do is chalked up to your personality, who you are. The rest of the world is watching, and they may not be judging you, or they may be. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. The point is, everything you do says something about you. The way you react to a situation, the way you hold a grudge, the way you speak to people that you don't even know. Let me put it to you this way. If I'm sitting over here and shaking my leg, and you're sitting over there and watching me and getting irritated, who has the problem, me or you? You, right? You're choosing to pay attention to that. You're choosing to be bothered by it. You don't have to. I tell my daughter all the time, she'd be like, yo, this person is staring at me. I said, well, if you don't look at him, you won't know he's staring at you. Would it bother you if you didn't know he was staring at you? No. Turn around, go look at something, go focus on something else. If I'm shaking my leg over here and you're watching me, you get pissed off. Who has the problem, me or you? Honey, it's you. Okay? So just pay attention. Think about what it is you're doing. What does that say about you? It matters. It should matter to you. It should matter to you what your decisions say about you. There is a saying that says, show me the size of, I'm probably going to completely misquote this, but basically it comes down to the size, let me try again. Show me what makes a man angry, and I'll show you the size of his ego or something. Oh my God, I don't know. I screwed that up completely. But basically, it comes down to how small does it have to be to piss you off. And that shows you how big a man you are. I think I got that a little bit closer to the deal. Tell me what upsets you, and I'll tell you how great a person you are. If you have a high threshold for pain, if you have a high threshold for bullshit, as in you don't go off the deep end when it happens. I mean, I'm not saying you can't spot it a mile away. I'm talking about how you react to it. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to. Just because you're invited doesn't mean you should go. You could be like, nah, it's cool. I'm good. I don't need that. I recently got the opportunity to be shout out on somebody's page, and they had like thousands of followers. And I was like, cool, okay. And I was given instructions, go ahead and DM them one of my posts and follow them. And they wrote me right back, and they were like, yeah, you know what? I would love to shout you out. But I only shout out lingerie and swimwear. And I was like, yeah, but that's not in line with who I am. That's not my brand. I'm a mom. That's not what I want my daughter to see at any point in time. So I was like, you know what? That's really cool and everything. I wish you the best of luck with your page, but nah, I'm good. I'm gonna politely decline on that one. You don't have to attend everything that you're invited to. It doesn't have to be an argument. It doesn't have to be a quarrel. It doesn't have to be a debate. You can't choose dignity every time. You have a choice in everything you do. You have a choice. Even if you're being held at gunpoint, you have a choice. You fight back or you just stay there and take it. You have a choice. Why don't you make your choices count? Why don't your choices reflect who you really are? Anyway, yeah, that's me. Super straight and narrow, completely boring, very, very predictable, I think. Dependable, reliable. I'm the girl, if you come to me with a pickle, like, you got some shit going on and you need somebody, you need a road dog, whatever, I'm right there. I got you. The best that I can do, I will. If I can't, I'll point you in the right direction. That's still the best I can do, right? That's just who I am. It's not going to change. It's never going to change. I've been like this since day one. You ask my brothers. You ask my cousins. You ask the kids I went to elementary school with, if they remember me. I was quite forgettable back then. I may be forgettable now, whatever. I'm not going to change, you guys. It took me a long time to be okay with who I am. I'm not about to change for nobody. You don't like that I'm independent? That's cool. You don't like that I do both the man's work and the woman's work at home? You know what? It ain't skin off my nose. It's all right. I'm good. You don't like the way I raise my kid? You know what? That's cool too. You're allowed to think what you want to think. You don't got to tell me about it, but you can think what you want to think. That's cool. You're entitled to your opinion, just like I'm entitled to mine. And I think that it's important, if you're going to be at a 9 to 5 and you're still building something on the side, that you show up every day. You do the best you can. Because the last thing you want is for anyone to be able to say, yeah, but I remember back when she was at this place and she won't like that. Yes, you're allowed to change. You're allowed to evolve. But still, people are real quick to draw conclusions about who you were and who you are. Don't give them any excuses. Don't give them any, ammunition against you. Do what you got to do. Show up. Do you. Do what you got to do. You get that money. You work hard. You build your business on the side. Don't forget your business. All right, y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Hopefully y'all have a good evening. I gotta think up something to talk about tomorrow on my Periscope, but I will see y'all bright and early. It's 6 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday nights, but from us over here in the Far East, it's actually 6 a.m. on Thursday. Yeah, you guys, I committed to 6 a.m. on Thursdays for you guys, and I still will not quit. I will still show up every day, every week. All right, y'all. I'm gonna call it a night, so I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Okay? Bye.